So I wanted to follow up on today's session where we looked specifically at Don Marquis' future like ours argument. I wanted to follow up because this is the key point in the whole essay, and you really need to be clear about what the argument says, and especially what its premises and its conclusion actually are. As I said today, it's very common, very natural to make a mistake about what its conclusion is. That mistake would be to say that it's wrong. If a student were to say it's wrong to kill something because you're taking away its future, that is not his conclusion. That's way too general. And the way that you rectify that is by looking at the argument and seeing what the actual premises are to the argument. So, just to review my notes today, the first part of Marquis' essay is concerned with why he thinks that the usual way of talking about the ethics of abortion is a wrong turn because, as we saw, he believes that um, concentrating on the argument about whether the fetus is a person is not going to resolve the issue about whether abortion is ever ethically defensible or whether it's always wrong or whether it's sometimes wrong. For the reasons that he gives, the arguments about the humanity of the fetus or the arguments about the personhood of the fetus have flaws in them that will prevent it from resolving the issue. And his idea is that what we really need is a theory of the wrongness of killing in general, a theory of the wrongness of killing. And he uses this expression here, the wrong making feature of killing. If we kill somebody or something and we say that it's wrong, what is it that makes it wrong? Is the That's what the wrong making feature would be. Um, so if we can find out what the wrong making feature of killing is, and then we have a way of resolving the abortion debate, because if that feature applies to abortion, then abortion is prima facie, on the face of it at least, morally wrong. If that wrong making feature is not something that applies to abortion, then it's not wrong, or we have no basis for saying that it's wrong. So, what is his actual argument? What is the future like ours argument? It's very important to be very clear and specific on what his first premise is. And the first premise is it is wrong to kill me and it is wrong to kill you. That is, he believes that's a very strong first premise because it's something that we can all agree to, and we can agree to that. We're not saying it's always wrong to kill. We're not saying what sort of creatures it's wrong to kill and what sort of creatures it's not wrong to kill. All we're saying is I accept, without further argument, that it would be wrong to kill you, and you accept, without further argument, that it would be wrong to kill you and wrong to kill me. So we can agree on that. So that's the first premise, that it would be wrong to kill me and wrong to kill you. That's all the first premise says. And then we ask why. Well, why would it be wrong? Or what is the wrong making feature that makes it wrong to kill you and makes it wrong to kill me? And after dismissing some alternatives and insisting that the wrong making feature of killing someone has to be the effect on the person killed or the one killed, he says it would be wrong to kill me and wrong to kill you because that would be taking away all our future experiences. That's his second assumption. He doesn't prove that, really. He just says, well, this is the most sensible way of thinking about it. That is that the primary reason why killing someone is wrong is the effect on them, not the effect on others left behind, but the effect on the person killed. And the effect that really matters is that you are taking away all the goods of their future life, all the experiences they would otherwise have had if you hadn't killed them. And that's the theory of killing. I mean, that's the theory of the wrongness of killing. All we're saying is that it's wrong to kill you and me, and that it's wrong to kill you and me because you'd be taking away our futures. So, what is the conclusion to that? It would be wrong to kill anything that had a future like ours, because that's all we proved, right? Or that's all the argument seeks to establish, is that it's wrong to kill you and me because you'd be taking away the kind of future that you and I can expect. So it would be wrong to kill anything that had a future like ours. Uh, and as he says, this has certain very obvious implications for the ethics of abortion. And you may say that the third premise of his argument here, when applied to abortion, but the typical fetus indeed has a future like ours. That is, if we consider a fetus at any stage of development, and we consider it to be an actual individual thing, that thing will, in the future, not immediately, but in the future, will have a future like ours. It doesn't have experiences like ours now, but it will in the future. So you'd be taking away from it a future like ours. That's I don't know, it's the third premise, I guess, that when you kill a fetus by aborting it, you're taking a future like ours away from them. So that's the argument. It has some obvious implications. Again, if you look at the videos, and I hope that you do look at the videos that I put up, I might have mentioned that my main question about this essay is why Marquis doesn't acknowledge that, on his argument, not all abortions are morally wrong because not all fetuses have futures like ours. That's, I think, obvious. Those cases are rare, but they do exist. And somebody in their comments said, well, we can never really be certain that any fetus has a future like ours. And that may be true too, and that may be a weakness in his argument. But a definite implication, I think, of his argument is that fetuses, through disability that we judge do not have futures like ours, are not covered by his argument. And one of the other things you have to keep in mind is that he leaves open the possibility that things that are not covered by his argument may still be protected for other reasons. For instance, killing animals, I would say that most animals do not have futures like ours because they don't have experiences like ours. So under his argument, there's no reason not to kill them, but there may be other reasons that he's not considering, right? So he's leaving that open, but all he's really established is that it would be, on the face of it, right? There have to be exceptions. Self-defense, killing in war, because that's taking away all the future experiences of the person killed too. But on the face of it, all things being equal, it's seriously morally wrong to kill anything that has a future like ours. Again, there may be exceptions, but the general rule is don't kill anything like us because you would be wronging it in the same way that you'd be wronging you or me by taking away a future like ours.